Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Murder We Spoke. I am Ben. I am Marissa-less today, but as per usual, we've upgraded. When she's not here, we upgrade. As you guys know, we're bringing back our favorite guests to close out the podcast, and today we're joined by the host of the All Things Cozy podcast. It's Matt. It's Gillian. Guys, welcome back.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you guys were willing to come back.
Oh,
willing to come back.
I guess I like
we were clamoring to come back.
You know what? And we answered the clamors.
Thanks for having us.
No, this is the best gig in town. Ben
it really
feeds
is.
us.
Yeah,
And
good.
I feel
pampered.
I feel like I have to bribe people to come over. It's like, we'll feed you. You'll win money for charity, maybe.
And Julian's very. We don't need any bribing.
Yeah, all we needed to come over was to watch an episode of Murder, She Wrote.
That's all you need.
Super cozy.
The coziest. And today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 12, Murder by Appointment Only, which
doesn't seem to fit.
Still doesn't quite make sense, I'll be honest.
It really doesn't, now that I think about it.
It feels like they planned another episode, and then this came out, and they were like, well, let's use that title. It seems like a nice title.
It honestly kind of seems like they were going for, the secretary is the murderer, and they're like, but you gave it away in the title. It's like, fine, we'll have it be this other guy. Who cares?
Lots of twists, I'll say.
There were a lot of twists.
A lot of twists. Did not see a lot coming. Just to give a quick I guess before we'll jump into the episode in a minute, but before we do, we like to kind of get a flavor for the time the episode came out, jump into the pulp culture. So this aired on January 5th, 1986. The top 3 movies of that week were 101 Dalmatians, which was a re-release, because that came out in 1961.
It's amazing they could re-release a movie back then in theaters and it would make a lot of money.
This is the second week in a row when that happened, because last time it was E.T. They re-released E.T. in the year after it came out, and it was one of the top movies of the year again.
I guess people take whatever they can get.
I guess VCRs weren't huge.
Yeah,
that's got to be what it was. Because I remember, I would have only been 3 in 1986, but even when I was older, 10, so in the early 90s, I remember renting VCRs because they were
100%.
so expensive you could not afford one. You had to go to Blockbuster and rent one, put down $100 deposit, and your mom was so scared she was going to drop it or something on the way home. They came this giant suitcase.
Those were the days.
Yeah, I was always jealous of my friends who had Laserdiscs, because those were fancy.
Wow, when did those start coming out?
Was that the early 90s or late 80s?
I would say 90s,
yeah. For sure 90s.
I only ever remember seeing those on a sitcom.
I had one friend who had Laserdiscs, and I was blown away.
Yeah, very fancy.
Yeah.
I remember going into some store in the mall, like a Sam Goody or something, and seeing the Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit Laserdisc, and I was like, what millionaire could have
I know, right?
Amazing.
You held a Laserdisc and you were like, this is the future.
Yeah.
It's it was gorgeous. You're like, never will I achieve such heights
in
my life that I could own a Laserdisc of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Let's see. The number 2 movie, Out of Africa, which would go on to win the Oscar for Best Picture that year. And the number 1 movie, of course, Rocky IV.
I've never seen a Rocky.
I've never seen a Rocky, so I can't. Yeah.
This is the one where the description I like. Rocky Balboa proudly holds the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship, but a new challenger has stepped forward. Drago, a 6'4", 261-pound fighter who has the backing of the Soviet Union.
That makes sense for the time period.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely seen the first Rocky, seen parts of number 4 just because with Drago. I feel like I've seen that final fight probably. Because I've definitely seen Drago saying, I must break you. I feel like I've seen that.
Have you seen Creed?
No.
I've only seen... there was a sequel to Creed that came out, right?
Yeah.
The spin-off of Rocky?
Kind of. It's like a...
Yeah, because Apollo Creed is the guy he fought in the first movie. And then he had... I don't think he had an illegitimate son.
Yes.
Who is then the protagonist of these new movies, but Rocky is his trainer.
Right. And I'm just wondering, if did Drago's son come back to fight Creed?
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact, that is the plot of
Really?
Creed 2.
Is it really?
Oh,
Yes, you
wow.
absolutely nailed it.
Okay,
That's
so-
100% what happens.
I should be writing these movies.
I know you should.
If we could mail this, timestamp this, mail it back 2 years,
I know.
you would have just made yourself a ton of money. Because that is exactly
I could buy
the
so
plot.
many laser discs.
That's great. Okay, and the top 3 songs to get in the vibe. I forgot to say saved here. Let's cue these bad boys up here. And when I say I got them queued up, obviously it's going to take me 5 minutes to find them. So let's see. Is it going to play through the speaker? Oh yeah. Sing along. You know it.
Gillian, do this part.
Look at the cover of this album. Look at her. It's.
Oh wow.
If you guys have never seen the cover of this album, she looks. I mean, it's like
It's hard. It's she's
haunted.
kind of not. If they actually broke into Area 51, if any of those Naruto runs were successful,
Yes.
they would have found her in the facility
looking exactly like she
Yeah.
looks in 1986
from
It is-
Mars.
She looks like they're invading and they got it 98% of the way there, but there's that 2% uncanny valley
Yeah.
where she just doesn't quite look human.
She definitely reminds me of that woman from Mars Attacks.
She's definitely the one who just
bites
did that
off the
weird
finger,
sway.
yeah.
I love that.
She's
one.
an icon.
Absolutely.
She should be the president.
All right. So that's the number 3 song, Stacy Q, 2 of Hearts. The
I can
number
get behind
2
that pick.
This is a very 80s-y play. Like it's 86, but it's like these are just like 80s jams.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a build-up. As all 80s songs, they don't get right to it. I
They-
feel like
they take their time,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no rush. It's a little number called. What's it called? It's right in front of me. Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone by Glass Tiger.
I don't recognize this.
Oh, she forgot it.
You've done exactly what they told you not to do, Gillian.
Asked you not to do this, Gillian.
I feel like this is like 2 one-hit wonders in a row because Glass Tiger definitely never had another hit.
That's funny. I was actually just at the Glass Tiger concert last week.
Oh, really?
No.
I would believe it.
I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to slight your
I
favorite-
am Glass Tiger.
I should have noticed your Glass Tiger TV, your shirt, your concert shirt that you're wearing.
Well, I forgot him.
Glass Tiger is not only a
Very
great
Glass
band
Tiger.
name, but reminds me of those little glass animal collections that
Yes.
people used to. Remember those?
Oh,
Very
like every-
tiny.
Yeah, there's the size of like a
Yes.
fingernail.
I love those. I had those.
I want to imagine the band is named after. Like this singer has a glass collection of animals, and one of them's a tiger.
He like inherited them from his grandmother.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his way of honoring her.
It's in his china cabinet. Yeah.
All right, that's number 2. The number 1 song, which there is a lot of build-up, so I'm going to skip ahead on this one like a minute and a half because it is. This is When I Think of You by Janet Jackson.
This is good. I love all these songs.
I guess I don't recognize any of them.
Not even the Stacy. I feel like the Stacy Q one, for whatever reason, is the one I've heard the
I don't
most.
Oh, yeah.
know.
For some
For
reason.
me too. Yeah.
Nothing?
Nothing.
I love all these songs.
You need to get on that 80s Sirius XM
Yeah. I
station
know.
because you'll hear these songs ad nauseum.
Jillian's kind of an early aughts girl.
That's not really odd.
You are, though.
I'm 89.
No, I know when you're born. I'm saying in terms of the music you listen to.
No, I know
I'm
what
not
you
a
mean.
teenager.
No, I meant like the music.
That's what I meant. I'm saying that, like, in terms of the music you listen
I
to,
didn't have coffee this morning.
you're more in that, like, the National Bright Eyes era, I would say. That's your jam.
No, you're not looking that far back.
I'm not
You know me.
criticizing
That's
you. I'm just
true.
saying that's your wheelhouse. I went through major 80s phase.
Yeah.
Where, like, there'd be days where it'd be only Cyndi Lauper for me. Back in high school.
I like some
Oh, like
80s.
good days.
Those were good days.
hits.
Doing my algebra homework, listening to She-Bop.
When I grew up, I was mostly I listened to whatever music my mom listened to, which was the 60s doo-wop groups and stuff like that, like the Marvelettes and Elvis all the time. So I just was kind of stuck. Like, I didn't get into any of the new music. Not hip at all.
I think that was part of it for me. Was my mom was super into 80s music. She was pretty with it in that era, and so
Okay. Well, that helps.
we were always listening to Prince and Michael Jackson.
My mom's a big Dido fan.
Again, early aughts.
So yeah, different flavors.
Cyndi Lauper, Dido. I mean, really, they're not that different if you think about it. All right, guys, we're going to mix it up. Are you ready to play a game? We're going to jump right into a game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great.
I
Yeah,
love
awesome.
a good game.
Okay, guys, I'll not show you the answers.
I didn't
I'll
peek.
do my
I
best.
didn't see.
We just have some trivia about the year 1986, just to kind of get more into it. And this way we can do it up top, so we have a flavor for the year. Let's see. Do you guys have a charity in mind, by the way?
So evidently the Paw Chicago folks sent us a 2020
Which is
calendar,
so
which is so sweet, and it's
so sweet.
full of adorable animals. So I'm gonna go Paw Chicago again, just so they
doing-
send you another calendar.
And that's exactly what I was put it out here for. I was like, my ploy has worked. I get another calendar. All right. Let's see. We're going to go, unless otherwise stated, $5 per correct answer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hands Across America raised $34 million for charity in 1986, with only about $15 million going to the charities that it was actually raising money for.
Cue the us music.
Exactly. The goal was to achieve a continuous chain of people that stretched across the contiguous United States. How many people actually participated? I'll give you three choices.
Okay.
4.5 million, 5.5 million, or 6.5
And
million.
we're fighting against each other?
No, are we working together or are we competing?
You're working together.
Okay.
If you want to compete,
I forgot last time we fought.
We fight enough, so. What do you think? I either want to go low or big.
I was going to go play it safe in the middle.
Oh, we're
but
already fighting. Okay.
I think we should go in the low because people don't really participate, so.
I'm with you there. Let's go. We're gonna choose the lowest.
People
answer.
are lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, people not in 1986,
Oh.
but 6.5 million.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? They didn't have the internet then, so they had more time on their hands to go hold hands for an afternoon.
Exactly. And I think you got like a T-shirt or something when you
Yeah.
showed up,
Okay,
which is
well,
why
free t-shirt.
half the money didn't end up going to charity because they're buying fucking
Oh my
6.5 million T-shirts. All right. The Oprah Winfrey Show debuted nationally in September of 1986.
Mm-hmm.
In which local market did the Oprah Winfrey Show start?
Oh, Chicago.
Chicago, indeed. All right.
I feel good when we get one right because I think of all of like the homeless animals that
I
aren't
know,
going to
but
get help when we
they're
get one wrong.
staring at
They
us
really
now.
are.
They are the judgment
Listen,
in that
there's
puppy's eyes.
the saddest looking puppy. Every time we get a question
that's
wrong, we'll just be looking at
Just
this
Quite the
face.
cover. Good
Just
marketing.
imagine someone walking up and kicking him because he's not got anywhere to go.
Okay, now we really got to win.
All right. Next question. The musical containing songs like Angel of Music and The Music of the Night debuted on London's West End and would go on to be the second longest running play in West End history. Name the play.
I was
We
a
get
fan of the
options?
opera.
Phantom of the
Oh,
Opera.
good job.
That was
I
my-
didn't need multiple choice.
I have chill. That was my first musical experience ever, which I saw at the Chicago Opera House.
Oh, wow.
Where's the
Nice.
lyric? I don't know. Whatever it was.
Mine was
But-
cats.
It was Cats.
Cats.
Off to a rough start.
I know. And then I saw that you went to see that the Scrooge play that was in Broadway.
A Christmas Carol?
I was going to say, did they make a musical out of the Bill Murray movie Scrooge? Because I will go see
I'm
that.
calling it the Scrooge play from now on.
The Scrooge play.
I saw that 1,000 times.
I don't know what my first play was. I'm sure it was some shitty local.
Well, here's the sad tale for you. At this same year I saw Phantom of the Opera, I was in middle school, and so I was so excited. I loved it. I listened to the cast recording constantly, and so I decided to go as the Phantom of the Opera on Halloween, dressed up 7th grade Halloween dance at my middle school, and so many people just laughed at me. They thought I was such a joke. I was bullied that night.
That.
I remember,
Oh no!
I remember crying in the bathroom in my Phantom mask.
Oh my god!
No, it was.
What? That's so.
This is
You know, it
awful.
was-
You were the Phantom.
It was the Phantom. So I
This is
dropped
the
a
origin
chandelier
story.
on all of them. I killed them all.
I mean, it sounds like they had it coming. I'm on your side. All right.
Oh.
Next question. That's hard transition.
Sorry to go so dark.
No, that's fine. It sets the tone because this episode we're about to discuss is
It's
very
pretty
dark
dark.
anyway. So, The biggest song of 1986 was That's What Friends Are For. For $3 for each name, tell me the 4 people who collaborated on the song.
That's what friends are for?
Never heard of it.
Can we hear the song?
Yes, I will pull it up
Okay.
right now. That's a... That's what friends...
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Have you heard the song?
I feel the name sounds familiar, but I can't summon it just based on the title.
I feel like once you hear it, you'll know. Okay.
Okay, I know
For
the
sure.
song. But I don't know who's doing it.
Is she an older woman, you think?
I would say yes. These are...
She's an older
There's
lady.
two men and 2 women on it, if that helps.
I want to say Reba.
Did David
has a
Foster
Reba vibe.
produce it?
I have no idea who produced.
Is it?
I don't know who this person is.
I'm trying to think of like 80s people. So Womack is one. Leanne Womack, or
What? No. Very close though. The name is very close. What you just said.
Trisha Yearwood.
No.
Trisha Yearwood.
That's an instrument of Garth
You're in
Brooks.
the
Yeah.
you're in the country realm.
Oh, she's a country?
No, I was at. These are more R&B. Like there's R&B,
R&B,
and
okay.
pop.
Oh, I think we have to get this up. We don't know.
I don't know. Has only one person sang so far? I don't know.
I think so.
That's just...
The harmonica's a clue.
Is there? The harmonica's a clue. Bob Dylan. I feel like I don't think we're gonna get this.
Yeah.
Kenny G. Is Kenny G
Maybe.
playing in
It
the
sounds
background?
very Kenny G, but
Um,
unfortunately it's not.
I want to get like Bob Seger.
No.
I'm just naming like people I know the names of but don't know the music of, so that they sound wildly off.
Honestly, I'd be dead if there's a gun to my head.
We
Name
both
one
would
of these
be.
people. Name one singer.
I really don't know.
Can you give us one more hint? Michael Bolton.
No. The person. I think the person that's singing now. A biopic about this gentleman came out just this year. I don't know if this is him.
Elton John.
Elton John is one
Okay.
of them.
Okay, good job, Pete.
We needed a lot of help.
Elton John. Who would he hang around with?
I don't know. I think we're only gonna get
Yeah.
Elton John.
Okay. The other collaborator,
Put us to shame. Who are you missing?
Dionne Warwick.
Dionne
Nope.
Warwick.
I would have never
You know what?
gotten it.
I think I just. Is Leanne Womack a different? Am I just get Dionne Warwick? Did I get the name wrong?
I think you meant Dionne Warwick.
Okay.
But you said Deanne Womack, who I think is a country singer. Or Leanne Womack. Leanne
Okay.
Womack.
It's not my fault they all have similar names.
You can't help that. Gladys Knight
Okay.
and Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well,
you got
I'll
one,
take
Pete.
that
Good
hit.
job.
Sorry, puppies and kitties.
Still got
Well-
$3. That's $3. That's not nothing. That's not nothing. Okay. In 1986, a great American novel was released. Based on these clues, name the book. It was inspired by the fairy tale Three Billy Goats Gruff. It took the author 4 years to write. It is 1,138 pages long, making it only the author's second longest book. Its author has submitted to very heavy cocaine use while writing it.
All right, so it's a Stephen King book for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I heard cocaine and I knew.
And live action adaptations came out 27 years apart.
Oh, it must be it.
It is it.
Good job, Pete.
I didn't know it was based on Three Billy Girl Express.
I didn't know
thought
that
was
either.
Yeah,
interesting.
that one. I was just trying. That's
That's what threw me off.
Yeah, that one threw me off. Certainly.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Of these 4 inventions, which one was not invented in 1986? Baby carrots, Pixar, the gas tank indicator arrow, or the Heimlich maneuver?
Pixar?
Was not in 1986.
Was not. 3 of those were created in 1986. 1 was not.
I feel like Pixar. It's a trick question. I feel like Pixar was. But then the technology. It probably took them that long to make Toy Story.
Because they collaborate with Disney in the 90s for Toy Story.
Yeah.
I thought it was their first collaboration.
Do you want to go with Pixar?
I
Or do you
don't
think it's a
know.
trap?
It might be a trap.
Can you list the options again?
Yeah. Baby carrots, Pixar, gas tank indicator arrow, and the Heimlich maneuver.
I think the Heimlich maneuver would be before, right?
Let's go Heimlich maneuver.
It is the Heimlich
Yeah.
maneuver.
Okay, good.
It was invented in
I'm
1974.
glad they had life-saving techniques before them.
Pixar, because Pixar was a division of Apple, I think.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it started there.
And so it
yeah.
started. That's when it was invented. It's like invented is a weird thing to say
Yeah.
about Pixar, but still. And baby carrots, a guy figured out that if you take misshapen carrots and just cut them down into tiny carrots, you can then resell them as baby carrots.
Well, there you go.
And then the guy who invented the gas tank indicator arrow, telling you which side of the tank your thing is on, could have patented it for obviously thousands of dollars and sold it to the things, but decided to give it away for free so it could be widely available because he found it so annoying that he could never know which side of the thing is his.
Well,
Imagine
nice
being,
of him.
That's I guess, but imagine being so annoyed with something that you're like, I don't need millions of dollars
Just
and to be taken
fix
care
it.
of for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. I just want this over.
Just get it in a fucking Toyota so I can go about my day.
I
done.
can't find my gas tank.
Good.
It's like you have a 50-50 shot, guy. Is it
Right.
that hard? How many different kinds of cars are you driving?
Also,
Anyway.
yeah, imagine being the inventor of that. Like, yes, this whole mansion is from an arrow.
Yeah, I
pointing left or
invented
right.
an arrow. Okay, last question. Orson Welles died in 1985, and the final role he filmed before his death was released in 1986. Of the role, here's what Orson said. And I'm not going to do the voice. You know what I did this morning? I played the voice of a toy. Some terrible robot toys from Japan that changed from one thing into another. The Japanese have funded a full-length animated cartoon about the doings of these toys, which is all bad outer space stuff. I play a planet. I menace somebody called something or other. Then I'm destroyed. My plan to destroy whoever it is thwarted, and I tear myself apart on screen. Name that film.
Oh, it's Transformers.
It is
Transformers
Transformers.
the movie.
That's right.
Optimus Prime dies. Spoiler alert. In that one, and then I think he played the planet Transformer. What was his name? Was it Galactus or Galvatron or something?
Unicron.
It was Unicron. Okay.
He played Unicron.
I want to. Why not make a unicorn Transformer called Unicron?
I literally, after I wrote this, I thought it was unicorn, and then I read it more closely, and I was like, oh, it's Unicron. Why be one
I
letter
like
away?
unicorn.
The planet Unicorn is not nearly as ominous, I guess. I'll give him that much. Let's see. So to start off, we've won $28 for charity so far, and there's more.
Yay.
We'll play another game
Thank
at the
you
end of the
so
show.
much.
But
Those are
now, in 1986, we kind of got the feel for the year.
yeah.
Orson Welles is dead, but his voice in Transformers lives on,
Well,
and Jessica Fletcher is here to solve a crime by appointment only.
I'll never forget what friends are for. Kenny G.
No, Gillian, we made that up.
Okay, Kenny G.
She just wants Kenny G on that song.
You've
so
already
bad.
forgotten who's on that song.
We're gonna make a playlist to send Gillian. It'll all be okay.
Gladys.
Okay, so the quick recap for anybody who hasn't seen this episode or hasn't seen it in a while. Jessica is visiting Grady, makes an early Grady appearance. I should have looked up if this was for the first episode of Grady. He repeats a lot. He's her dim-witted nephew who she has
A
to.
clown.
She's had to save. He's been accused of murder in episodes, and she's had to clear his name. He needs a lot of help. Does Grady?
Sadly, he never got a spin-off called The Grady Bunch.
It's not too late. He's still kicking.
I'll pitch it to Netflix.
There's still time. You can tell him about how you came up with the idea for Creed 2,
Oh my god.
so you know what you're talking about. She goes to visit Grady because he's trying to get a job at the Lila Lee Cosmetics Company.
Yeah.
And her former student, Elizabeth, is working for the company and is, in fact, marrying the namesake's brother.
Right.
The
Norman.
She's marrying Norman, someone twice her age. She ends up dead, and then it's a whole whodunit of how did this happen, and turns out, guys, it was Norman.
Yep. Actually, honestly, it was a twist. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, they definitely were really good at misdirecting.
Yeah, that was one where I did keep on guessing.
Did not get it right this time.
No.
Although, the actor who plays Norman is so intimidating that I feel like we should have guessed it. I feel like if I were to go into his IMDb, we'd find that he's always playing, like, the bad, like, executive or the mean old white guy.
He was a great mean old white guy, and it kind of would go into the Law and Order rule of, if there's a celebrity on the show,
right,
that's who it is. Although they had a lot of celebrities on this show, like from old Hollywood. The guy that played Norman is named Robert Culp, and his most notable credit on IMDb is he was the non-Bill Cosby half of the TV show I Spy.
Oh, okay. I remember that show.
Which ran in the, I think, 60s to early 70s.
Well, he was culpable for the death of his girlfriend. Gillian just gave me the
it doesn't
the most condescending side eye.
No. I don't know what I Spy. I don't know what I Spy is. I don't know what the heck any of.
They made the movie out of it with Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson, maybe?
Oh, really?
I think when they did the movie spin-off in the 90s, which they did, all old TV shows got a...
Oh, I don't remember the spin-off.
Or just a reboot of it.
Okay.
Not a spin-off, I guess. I used the wrong word. But I almost feel like he came in at, like, they cast him at the end, like, we actually have a good actor to play Norman. Let's give him, like, some dramatic monologue at the end of the episode. Because the whole murder by appointment only thing is...
It didn't make any sense. I guess it was made perhaps in relation to her past, can I say, as a call girl, if you will?
Yeah. She was a working girl.
A working girl. So maybe she made an appointment with various men, and she had an appointment with her secret lover that day.
That's true. And the secretary kept yelling at him to go to his massage appointments.
Oh, yeah.
Where,
lots of appointments.
Yeah, so I think that my, halfway through the episode, I confidently was like, it was the secretary, guys. Don't worry about it. I figured it out.
Yeah, because she shows up the day after the murder all gussied up and like ready to swoop in.
Yeah, and we just got like this exposition of like, his first wife died a year ago, and he's already moving in on this other girl. So you think like the secretary was
jealous,
missed her window, and so she killed the other wife. And even
what was she doing though? She was there the whole time, like just waiting for the right moment.
She's just biding her time. She's like, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna swoop in right away. There's a grieving process, and then
not for Norman. Norman's going to the prostitutes
and then this
right
hussy,
away.
Well,
she comes right in.
That's what was so bizarre. I mean, in all these kinds of shows, they do move on quite quickly, but very much so in this episode, no one seemed distraught. That was her beloved student.
Even Jessica was kind of like
fine.
Disappointed in her, like for dying.
Yeah,
it's like you're better than this. It was
weird.
Jessica did have like a hard time coming to terms with her student's life. Like she was like thought she was gonna literally was like, I thought you were gonna go on to win a Pulitzer and all this. You were my most gifted student, and I was expected all these great things from you. And the whole time she's like, no, I'm just kind of been a high class prostitute, really. Or as the one woman said, like for tired businessmen.
That's right.
So high class, maybe not.
Not that tired.
Yeah. Good God.
Yeah.
She was the best in the business, so.
Yeah, she was the best in the business.
She was the best in New York. You think more people would be upset? Like it's a pretty big. She'd be pretty famous at that point. Yeah, it's funny that. So when Jessica goes in to discover that she's a prostitute, she goes to her old employer, and the old employer does initially try to pass off the front as like, oh yeah, we're a call service for temp agency basically.
Secretarial placement is
That's
what
right.
the placard said.
And so, but then the way Jessica figures out that it's a lie is that Elizabeth had flunked typing and
dictation.
Dictation,
I guess
which
she could never
first of all,
improve.
what high school has typing in that's like Are they going to the high school for secretaries? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, because she presumably went to high school then in, what, the 70s?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, on a typewriter? Yeah, this is...
Second question, which is if she's such a gifted writer, like, shouldn't she know...
Get the program and...
Yeah, how to
Shouldn't
type.
she be able to type?
Right. I mean, granted, during that time you probably could, like, just do long-form writing and
I
turn
assume
it
that's
in.
what most people were doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fair enough there, but, like, I still feel like it was around the time where you could be at least decent at typing if you were going to be a
Yeah.
writer.
And you know there was no men in the typing and dictation class.
Yeah.
It was just those females only.
Yeah.
So she's like she's terrible at that, and it's like, and she's like, oh, this is such a gorgeous office. She's like, oh, this is actually my home. And I feel like that was another clue. Like,
Right.
she's like, you're not renting out
For
office
sure.
space as a madam.
Well, everyone lives in the same home in this episode because they all have the exact same, like, carpeting and china cabinet and wood furniture.
Oh yeah, they were
Yeah.
just resetting a lot of they're just like, it looks like it. Just put the bureau over here. We'll change the drapes, and now it's a madam's home.
Just-
Madam's home.
A cornucopia of creams and browns all
It
over
wa-
the place.
Well, which offset the purple because there
Yeah.
was so much purple.
Oh,
That's right.
boy.
The
It was
Lila
so much
Lee.
little,
Yeah.
a little too much for the senses.
Yeah, it's funny. And then also Grady, more on the topic of setting, like, he has his apartment in New York, which is, like, supposed to be this grimy New York apartment that he's barely making ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
And Jessica's sleeping on the couch, and he can't even heat up tea. And his whole apartment's so funny because, like, it doesn't read as, like, this is a New York apartment. It was like,
No,
if I saw that room, be like, oh, we're in an assisted living facility.
Yeah.
it's
And
like
this is a unit in one of those places.
it's what a set dresser in Burbank thinks a New York apartment
right,
looks
exactly,
like.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it was like they're like, and it's like, oh, they're so shabby apartment. I'm like, it's nicer than the apartment we're in right now. So is it that bad? Because
Yeah.
it looked fine to
Yeah,
me.
well, especially the space. Good
It was
amount of
plenty
space.
spacious. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it was a nice studio apartment. Grady, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Apparently
For
not, because he's
out-of-work
pretending to have a
accountant.
maid.
Yeah, the whole thing was bizarre. I know he's itching to work for this company.
The thing is, like, is the secretary that he's on the phone with him like, ooh, he's got a maid
Right.
that he's named Frida.
Frida, no.
Yeah, there were a lot of problematic
Oh
elements
yeah,
this
a
episode.
bunch of weird things.
The time has not been kind to this episode. There was
I'm sure there are worse episodes at Murphy Wrote in terms of
Oh, there are.
problematic. There's a couple moments like that moment, and then the one where the guy that Elizabeth had been seeing, who's the actor, who sets off Norman on his rampage,
Yes.
which includes slowly crossing off the portrait
Slowly.
Elizabeth with an orange lipstick.
Tangerine Twist.
That's that tangerine twist. That's right. Excuse me.
It's not quite pink. It's not quite orange.
No.
It's Tangerine Twist.
This made me really want to buy some lipstick.
I was like, I would like some like light pink
Yeah.
Tangerine Twist. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It
you know
actually
what?
sounded
Yeah.
pretty good.
it sounded nice.
Sounded
I
nice.
would order also a drink at Jamba Juice called Tangerine Twist.
Yeah, sounds delicious.
Um,
Yeah, it was so bizarre in that monologue because he said the rage was building up inside of him
Yeah.
until he exploded, and then he slowly walks over, like you said, to the portrait, and does this bizarre crossing out of her face, not even, is a zigzag.
This thing, he like did one line across, and then it's like he had a stroke for the rest of
Yeah.
it. It was so all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was talking about like the rage boiling up and all this kind of stuff, and it's like it was a lot of like the crimes of passion kind of stuff. Like he would have had time to cool down because I was like,
Oh yeah,
that scene took a minute. He was in that apartment for a while
and he was
before
waiting
she
for
got
her.
home.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when she came home, I guess we should have seen it coming that like it was a crime of passion. She
Mm-hmm.
was strangled,
That's true.
so we should have known it was someone close to her. You
Good
know,
point.
and not just the secretary. But
Yeah, even when he chased after her, he was almost stumbling after her. He wasn't racing after her, and she was kind of walking around too. I'd be.
yeah,
she's pretty casual about it.
Yeah.
she's a prostitute. She's been in that situation. This is old hat for her. She's been there before. Those tired old businessmen, they like to choke. It's a weird thing.
Old businessman.
He'll tire himself out.
In the beginning of the episode, my first note is literally they're doing that photo shoot. And I love how like they're into it, telling her to pucker, don't forget we're selling lipstick, all this stuff. And in the background is the workers setting up the Lila
I
Lee.
made a note of that too, where it's like, what are these photographs are just gonna have Teamsters in the background?
What are you going to crop out their asses? Like, what are you doing? It was just horrible. And then Lila Lee comes in and tells him to get rid of the jungle, and she doesn't like any of it. It's like, but there's literal
Yeah.
other human beings. Like, and yeah.
That was too crazy.
And this is the era when we went from scene to scene. There was a lot of jaunty remixes of the Murder, She Wrote theme. Later seasons, it gets a little... They're not trying as hard. I'm not going to lie. The effort that went into this episode with the twists and turns, and like I just thought, the music was great when Jessica was sitting kind of lamenting about, oh, she was a great student. She wasn't just a student; she was a friend. It's like, but you just basically said you hadn't seen her in like 20 years.
Right.
So
Yeah,
is she?
and seemed very disappointed.
It's like, is she a friend? I feel like you're kind of.
I'm a teacher now, and I can barely remember my students' names who are in my classes at this moment. So if one came up to me like that many years later, be like, okay, you're a student if you say so.
I believe you. He was like, oh, you sat behind that other girl who
couldn't spell apparently, as she said.
Yes.
I guess class sizes were smaller back then. Now I have like 50 kids crammed into my room. So
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. And she was in Maine. It's tiny little class sizes.
she really only had 4 students.
Yeah, she's just teaching people how to type and she's dictating things to them as they type, I guess.
Probably her book.
Oh,
She's
God.
enlisted them to type her book out.
She couldn't find a publisher at first, so what are you going to do? And I do, when she finally meets Norman, when Jessica finally meets Norman, and it's kind of revealed that Elizabeth is dating Norman, I thought Jessica kind of did a little dig when she was talking to Norman. She's like, oh yes, she's blossomed into such a nice young woman. And I feel like her throwing young in there when she's talking to just Norman, like she was throwing a little bit of shade at him.
Oh, I think so
Oh,
too.
sure.
And she seemed pretty disappointed or displeased when she saw it there together.
Yeah, also Angela Lansbury did some A+ mugging in this episode. Like, the camera would just linger on her when everything was... And she'd just react to the camera. Her eyes would, like, roll around in her head, and she'd move her mouth every which way.
They're like, we're going to linger a little longer than we probably should, but Angela's going to give us something, and we're going to run with it. Let's see. Midnight Pink. I just love the shades of lipstick in this one.
Oh, that was fun.
Midnight Pink is a great name.
It's a nice backdrop to the plot.
Oh, also, I love when we first meet Norman, we follow him back up to the apartment when he's talking to his son, who doesn't approve of Elizabeth because she's a gold digger, and he's talking to his son. He's like, yeah, my sister... What's her name again? Oh, it's Lisa Lee?
Lila Lee.
Lila Lee. Okay. So Lila Lee is running him all over the place. He's driving him crazy. Mm-hmm. And so he's developed a nasty white wine habit, which to me, to specify white wine, like it was like the serious, the hard stuff.
They blamed Elizabeth for getting him hooked on white wine, right?
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it was like. White, is that big of a deal?
Yeah,
like a glass of wine?
That's what brought up the fight between him and his son, because he's like, oh yeah, no, Elizabeth got me on that white wine. And the son flipped out. He's like, ah, we're talking about
That's
her.
right, yeah.
So, I don't
She's got
know.
him hooked.
Well, there were things to be hooked on.
Yeah, it's like you're associated with white wine now. Okay.
I know those dig being like a feminine drink, or I don't know.
Sorry. And then the son later on went nowhere. Like he was like a pink herring. He was he was so much of a red herring that he wasn't even, when he was talking to Jessica, and he's like, oh, it wasn't me. I know what you're thinking. Like, I didn't like her, but I didn't want her dead. And he's like, I was across town. I was playing rugby, like, or whatever it was. I was squash, whatever rich people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earliest red herring was, I keep wanting to call her Lisa Lee. I don't know why.
Lila Lee does not roll off the tongue, to be fair.
Who's supposed to be like, what, Mary Kay or whatever?
She was 100% it's a Mary Kay. Like, they even said, like, a Lila Lee girl.
Yeah. And so she is a piece of
Something
work.
else,
She
yeah.
is
Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, she's bossing everyone around. She's so mean. And so Gillian and I read a lot of cozy mysteries on our show, All Things Cozy podcast, and you know we love that genre. And typically in like a traditional mystery novel, the meanest person is the person who's dying.
Yeah. So we
Because
assumed
so
her.
you don't miss them, right? And so the death's a little cozier because you're like, whatever, that person was a jerk anyway. They may as well be dead. And so I had assumed like it was going to be Lila Lee that would kick the bucket, and nope, it was just poor little Elizabeth.
After the first like 5 minutes of the episode, you're like, okay, guys, we get it. You're gonna kill Lila Lee.
Yeah.
Could you just get on with it? Like,
Right.
You've made her so unlikable. But the woman who plays it, Jane Meadows, Jane Meadows Allen, who was married to Steve Allen, the creator and first host of The Tonight Show.
Okay.
Oh.
Like, they were like, I get like Hollywood royalty for a while, but she was chewing up the scenery. She was, by the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm having fun with her.
No, she was great. I actually really could watch a Lila Lee show. I can't say her name, but I would watch a Lila Lee show, and mostly for her cape work. Because in those opening scenes, she has this, like, beautiful lavender cape. And she's, like, swinging it around like she's Batman. And she's just, like, swooping in on her girls. And it's magnificent. One thing I will say about that character is she does not know how to delegate. She's a micromanager. She's over everybody's shoulder.
She is literally the namesake of the company, but she's still trying to pawn off, like, oh, we don't have, like, someone in your part of Maine, Jessica. You're the Lila.
Yeah.
You can be the Lila.
That was
girl
maybe
for
my
that
favorite
county.
line of the show when she says, "We need a girl in Cabbage Cove."
That was great. And Jessica's like, oh, no, I'm a writer. And she's like, but, you know, great, but I'm sure you have bills to pay. And
Or to buy pencils.
yeah, to buy pencils or just other little things that you want. I'm sure you're... She's like, you're not doing that well off. Let's see. We got to one of the best in the biz. Oh, when they were going through the crime scene with the detective, Dorothy Zbornak's ex-husband from Golden Girls.
Oh. I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, that's
Gillian
Dan.
hates Golden Girls, so she was like, she would have no clue.
Well, then
We did a Golden Girls episode on
Not
All
my-
Things
not
Cozy
my
podcast,
favorite.
and
I don't know.
Gillian was just sort of like, when is this going to be over?
no go for Golden Girls, not cozy.
I think the reason why it would come on after all my favorite shows.
Do you still resent it?
Well, you know what? Late
It's
at night.
not coming on before your shows. It's not like it's delaying your watching.
I don't know. It just always signaled to me. Oh, it's like bedtime. I gotta
Yeah.
go to sleep.
I am with you 100% because I have that same thing with I Love Lucy, which I have turned a
Yeah,
corner on.
yeah.
I will say I do. I love Lucy now, but I remember watching Nickelodeon, and then it would go from like your favorite cartoon into
Yeah.
the black and white opening of I Love Lucy, and you're like, motherfucker, it's over.
Yeah, that's also
Nick at Night.
that Linda Ellerbee. What was it? She's on that
Oh
like
yeah,
that news
she had
show.
the news show.
Oh yes,
And that would
yes.
kill me. I was like, not this woman. I wanted some educational.
That goddamn Linda Ellerbee is back again.
Well, she'd be in her vest, and it was like it was.
Stupid fucking vest.
Wanted to string her up with that goddamn vest.
Anyways,
Get me back to that cat dog.
exactly, literally.
I mean, the kids today don't know how good they've had it, where Nickelodeon just goes all the time now, and Nick at Night
Yes.
is like its own station with all the rerun stuff. You don't... There's not like a 7 p.m. cutoff where your day is just over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
It's
done.
ruined.
They kick you out, and so.
Yeah.
Kids in there streaming.
Zorro is also a show that Zorro was one of the ones. Cannot watch
Oh.
Zorro to this day because, like, it went from cartoons to
Happiness,
black
but
and
yeah,
white.
it just was too jarring.
Who
so.
decided that was the way to go, Nickelodeon?
So when you're young, some babbling, not to reduce Golden Girls, but when the jokes were flying over my head. It's just a bunch
Yeah.
of older women talking.
No, it's
Which
like,
is why it's the greatest show on planet Earth.
Yeah, but when you're young, when you're
when you're a child,
8 or
it's like,
something.
It's like all the jokes about Rose being a whore. You're like, I don't get it.
I was there on day one. I loved it. That for me, that was like grandma time. I got to stay up with my grandma and watch Golden Girls.
See, you're one of those
That's
people.
sweet.
I had a cousin who, like, we would try and do sleepovers. Like, oh, can Callie sleep over? It's like, oh no, she's gonna go stay with her grandma. I'm like, why? Because my grandma was a bitch. The one grandma that I had was a complete asshole. She would like make macaroni and cheese, and if we didn't like it, like my brother didn't like it, go to bed. She was just
Oh
horrible.
wow.
She was just like, if you said anything slightly negative about her boxed macaroni and
Oh
cheese,
jeez.
all right then, I'll throw it away and you can go to bed hungry. It's like,
Wow.
okay, grandma.
That's not very grandma-y.
She was.
She had raised her kids and she was done.
She had 10 kids, so
Okay,
I'm sure
I
she was
get
like
Oh my
fed.
god.
She's like,
Now I'm back on her side.
how did I get roped into babysitting? I've already raised 10 of you assholes.
Okay, that provides more context.
So it's like, I don't blame her, but at the same time, it's like when I knew I had to spend the night with my grandma, I was terrified.
I know.
And so the idea of people voluntarily spending time with their grandma, bizarre.
Yeah.
No.
Could not comprehend.
Yeah, no, my grandma kept strange hours too, where I don't think she slept. It'd be like she would be up until midnight and then would wake up at the crack of dawn, and so I could never figure it out. It was like, do grandparents are they always awake? And I thought that like when I get older, I would gradually need less and less sleep. That is not the case.
Little did you know.
The older I get, the more sleep I need.
You need more and more.
I don't know if there's a certain age where you hit it and you're just like, saving your sleep for death. I don't know what's going on there, but like
You're just afraid like if I go to sleep, I might not wake up, so I'm going to stay up as long as I can.
That might be part of it.
So yeah, my grandma she collected. Speaking of those little figurines, the glass tigers.
Yeah.
She collected elephants, and so she had a bunch of those. She collected elephants because she was a raging Republican. So.
Wow.
Yet another reason to not be super fond of grandma.
I had a grandma that collected elephants as well, but because they were good luck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not because she was a member of the Grand Old Party?
Maybe that's what she told us. She was like, she's... Although I don't know why she would keep that a secret. Like, they can't know I'm a Republican. She had to have been a Republican anyway, but she would always just say, like, oh, yeah, elephants are good luck.
Well, you can rewrite history and tell
I'm going to start telling you, like, they were good luck.
But it was only good luck if they had their trunk up.
Oh, interesting.
She would not collect an elephant if it had its trunk down.
I've never seen many trunk down statue elephants. Usually...
Because they're bad luck.
Peppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the little curl at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we know elephant figurines.
Well...
And then, when Grandma died, I didn't get a single goddamn elephant.
Not a single one?
I didn't get a single thing in
trunk
that
up or down?
No, you would think she'd at least give me a trunk down one. That old Republican bitch. I got nothing. All right. Back to the Stan Spornak. They were talking about, like, this lipstick. Like, where did it come from? We can't match the color. And then he's like, whoever this guy is that killed her. And Jessica's like, or a woman. He's like, yeah, it could be a woman or a guy with problems. And it's like, what does that, like, I just want to, like, what does that mean?
A guy with problems, yeah.
And this is also after they pick up a jewel-encrusted lipstick case.
Yeah. Rubies, diamonds.
And so, which pretty much dismissed right off the bat that it was not a robbery because someone would have taken that if it was actually a robbery. And especially if it were a guy with problems, like that queen would have grabbed that case
in a heartbeat.
It'd be the only thing they'd take.
Exactly. Yeah, they saw her using it on the street, followed her up, and was like, I have to have this.
I have a question about lipstick cases. Sorry if I'm like a stupid boy, but do you put like, because lipstick comes in a case, and it seems like it's so like the twisty mechanism would depend on the actual tube in the case itself. Like, can you take it, like if you buy a tube of lipstick from a store, can you take it out and put it in your own bespoke case?
Not to my knowledge, all my lipstick is in the case and you have to twist it to protect it.
And so the lipstick case just... why can't I say lipstick?
She was not specially ordered.
It just goes in the case, and then you open the case, and then you take the lipstick out of the case, too.
So it's just adding a step. It's just a status symbol, basically.
Yeah, it seems like it's more inconvenient.
I've literally, until this episode, never heard of a lipstick. I've never heard of anyone having a separate case.
Well, it just
for
confused
lipstick.
me because like they didn't take a lipstick stick out of the case. They were able to twist it inside the case itself. I need to go to like some sort of like lipstick case class.
I have lipstick in my purse if you want to.
Can we break it apart and analyze it?
Does the case itself, like, you have to buy a certain brand of lipstick? Like, it has to be Lila Lee because it fits in the thing, and you twist the case, which then twists the inside lipstick case.
I feel so dumb asking this question. Like, I'm sure there's so many people like ladies and drag queens listening to this right now who are like, "You're an idiot."
They have several lipstick cases in their purse right now.
Anyway, sorry. We'll get to the bottom of this later.
Yeah, so, guys, find us on Instagram. Solve this mystery for us. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. Or a guy with trouble. I just thought that was. And then we get to, speaking of the color, it's what unravels this whole thing. This color of lipstick that they can't match to anything in Lila Lee. Again, what New York, like, police precinct is like matching every single lipstick color on Earth? Presumably, they're like, we're through all the Lila Lee ones.
We're the best precinct in the city.
Yeah, we're still working on the foreign brands. It's like,
what?
how many men do you have on this?
a lot of lipstick.
Cut to all the officers in the building putting on lipstick. Like, oh, not the right shade. They're puckering in the mirror.
They're like, hey guys, a prostitute was killed. We got to get everybody on this because that's how New York works.
Yeah.
We're going to get our top
Especially
guys
in
on
the
this.
80s.
Yeah, everybody cares about this.
Yeah.
So they almost in a comical scene where Jessica's like, Grady, I'm going through when she gets the Lila Lee, like Lila Lee will not give up on making Jessica a Lila Lee girl, sends her the giant purple case. And Jessica's going through it being like, I see these numbers, there's 9854320, but I don't see 9854321.
By the way, she had the case for maybe 3 seconds before she noticed it. She didn't even look at the inside.
I will
the
say
case.
this is one instance of where Angela Lansbury, you know what? Let's do another take, because that one, you rushed it.
Yep.
You know what? You're a little too hot on that one, Jessica. You need to, let's try again.
Pause, look inside the case, and then notice something's missing.
And then also, do we need it to be, 7 numbers long? Can it not just be like, go from like 451 to 453?
Right.
Where's do we need that many numbers? And then for her to repeat them to the point where it was like almost comedy.
What was it, like 950321 or something?
9854321. Oh, I wrote them down because I was like, what is...
That I can even remember, like, half the digits in that is a testament to how many times they repeated it in this episode.
And then she goes and talks to the guy and he's like, how did you get 9854321? I created 9854321. It's like, guys.
Is this a secret message? Like, was the writer trying to send, like, a code through the airwaves? Like, help!
Is this the same?
They won't let us leave.
Is this when like the Oklahoma City bombing happened? He's like, when you hear the numbers 9854321, that's when we attack. So anyway, they just said that number ad nauseum, which was Jessica. Like, I love when she pretends to be someone. She put on her purple scarf and did her undercover work. Which we also have to talk about Grady's undercover work.
Oh boy, that was
not as smooth.
else. No.
When he went in pretending to be, what was that? Robin?
Oh, Roger Adiano or something?
Adiano.
And everyone says that last name with so much flavor.
Yeah, no.
Adiano.
Well, because as he said himself, I wrote down his quote. He was like,
Oh God.
I've got
3
blood in me from 3 Latin countries, so I'm hot-headed or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
That was also.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say
I
earlier.
had to look away.
That's great.
Yeah, that actor just like that was one of the problematic things. They were sort of like, what?
Also, it's an Italian
like-
last name too.
And when they put the flavor on it, they put an Italian. No one put like a Latin flavor on it. They put like they were like extras in The Godfather.
No,
Yes, seriously.
they really meant like Latin, like old Latin.
That's the thing. I was like, yeah, okay, that's what he meant. Because I was like, because you cast the whitest man in this episode to be the guy with 3 Latin countries in him. So
Also, what's Norman calls him a boy, and it's like
He looks like he was
it's a
balding.
middle-aged
he
man.
is full on balding.
Full on balding.
He is full on
He's not
balding.
someone people
I
I'm
guess-
having an affair with on my older.
That's a,
Right.
The
Just
actor
stick with the rich old guy.
Yeah, might as well.
Like that guy was also too old for Elizabeth. Like
Mm-hmm.
both of
Yeah.
these dudes, at least one was rich, and he did have those distinguished good looks.
I thought he was more handsome than Adiano, or the hell is.
I thought so, too.
100%.
Yeah.
Stick with Norman.
Without beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
If she had Arte, she wouldn't be dead.
Yeah, I think that's the lesson we're going to take away from this.
Yeah.
You stick with the rich old guy who's better looking.
Yeah.
He's on a superficial level and a financial level. You picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be with a poor guy, he should at least be hot.
Yeah.
We can all agree.
Yeah, don't an ugly poor guy? You're the best in the business. What are you doing lowering your standards like this? All right, guys. Is there anything else?
Yeah, there is so the other thing, go back to Grady, actually.
Okay.
They just dropped his subplot. So, like, they had been preparing this idea that he was trying to get a job at Lila Lee.
And then no one could get it right. Like, oh, you're here to be a sales executive? Or you're
Right.
here to be...
You want to be an accountant.
Yeah.
And it just ends. So that's the other thing is the episode just stops. The murderer is found. He's escorted out. Jessica looks at the camera, and that's it. We're done.
It was... I honestly thought... Because they do the thing where Lila Lee is like, and introducing the CEO of the company, my brother Norman. Norman, come out here. And then I thought it was going to stop when she was like looking at the door and he wasn't coming out. And it was going to be like this weird stop on her, like she's been nothing but an asshole to everybody, and now we're supposed to feel sorry for her because her brother got arrested.
Well, I thought she was going to be humiliated where they cart him out right in front of this the speed.
Which would have
Yeah.
been a great scene and would have
Yeah.
humiliated this bully, and it would have been more dramatic. And they just bring him out the back. He
Yeah.
doesn't even come through the spotlight.
I know. I was waiting for that moment.
Yeah, there was no payoff to like
Yeah.
her introducing him, and all that, and like everybody, his son was there. Grady was at the Grady got an invite to this event
Yeah.
for some reason.
The guy they haven't hired yet.
Yeah,
Who was
exactly.
filling out personnel paperwork but didn't have a job.
This is really
It didn't make any sense, and it's like, did they just run out of time? Like, they just couldn't finish the ending? They couldn't film it?
That's the thing. I feel like they had they built all this up, and then like when Norman gave his thing at the end, he did take his time with it. So they're like, you know what? He filled everything. So we had this. We were finishing off this plot of, whether or not Grady gets the job, but he kind of went long in his monologue. So we're just gonna cut it. No one really cares if Grady got the job.
They could have wrapped up the episode beautifully, and if they just added seriously one more minute of him being escorted out through the spotlight, humiliates Lila Lee, so we get her comeuppance.
Yeah.
It's a more interesting scene to watch, and because the nephew is there, Grady, maybe at that point, like, he could say to Jessica, like, guess I'm not gonna get this job, or something
Yeah.
like that, where
Yeah.
we put
Silly.
it, we close it, the loop. We know that's his story's over. I don't know. For all we know, he's still trying to get that job at Lila Lee.
The thing, or they could have been like the son. The son was there. Like now he's
The successor.
yeah. That's how '80s business works, right? It's like royalty. You just get to assume that.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, that's how the Trump organization works. So I
Yeah.
assume that's how all legitimate businesses work. Your son just steps into your shoes.
Yeah.
This really was the initial Succession of the show. This,
Oh, I
this
need to
episode of
get
Murder,
into
She Wrote.
I need to get into that, yeah, because this is basically the pilot. This is the backdoor pilot for the
It
show
was.
Succession.
It was a couple decades too early, but
But they got there. All right, guys. Is there anything else before we're gonna play one last game?
It was
Let's
a
do it.
somber episode. Oh, sorry.
it was a somber episode.
It was.
yeah.
There's always. Yeah, like the closing scene, if Jessica's not smiling, you've just watched a bummer of an episode. Because usually they try to end it with, like, they give, like, her and, I'm trying to think who she was getting along with. Like, I guess it would be Grady. Like, they could have closed on Grady being like, I guess I'm not getting that job, little boy. Like you said. And then it's like, they could have both laughed about it, like, okay, now I'm not feeling
Yeah.
as grim about this episode.
Pretty grim.
But they closed it on a super grim way, just like, oh, her best student ever has been...
A crime passion.
was killed in a crime of passion.
Yeah.
And her fiance is the murderer, and her nephew doesn't get a job. And it's like, really,
Nope.
nothing worked out well
No.
for anybody in this episode.
Nope.
Because, like, there was no one... The only person that really kind of wanted to find the murderer that was, like, wanted justice for Elizabeth was the guy who ended up actually killing her. So there's really no one rooting for her, aside from Jessica. And she's trying to solve these murders anyway. That's, like, her job.
Yeah.
But, like, she didn't have anybody rooting for her. It's like, it's just...
Well, it's not really her job.
She makes it
She makes it her
Yeah.
job, but it's amazing how many people just put up with her, like, nosing around, asking questions, or like, she
It's
can
just
be
very
here. This is
forceful.
fine.
The thing I did like, this detective was like fully happy with the help.
Yeah.
He did not put up any resistance to her joining in the investigation. And when she made Norman confess, and the guy walked down, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm
Free
here
labor."
too. The actual police are here to arrest you now that Jessica's done all of our work." He wasn't putting up any fight. Okay, guys, for the final game, I just want to try the game Sevens. Do you guys ever listen to the Never Not Funny podcast?
No.
They invented a game called Sevens, and I have the app. So I'll do a quick little show you how to play it. But essentially, you have 7 seconds
Okay.
to guess 7 seconds each to guess 7 different things in a category. In this category here,
Okay.
we'll try one here. The category is food. So I'll turn the volume up so hopefully everybody can hear it. And what we're going to do, we'll show you how this works. So I'm going to start giving clues. This place has a gordita.
Oh, a Taco Bell?
Yeah. It's popular in the South. You spread butter and honey on it.
Biscuit?
Yeah, that was bad. It's the state fruit of Georgia.
Peach.
Snails, what you call them in French.
Escargot?
Kentucky blank blank.
Fried chicken?
If you just have a little bite of something before a meal, that's called a...
Morsel?
Appetizer?
No, okay. If I put bread into a warming device, it becomes...
Toast.
Yes. Okay. So you guys, for every... you get 7 seconds each.
Mm-hmm.
The number of seconds you have remaining at the end of when you get it is the number of points you get. So
Okay.
we got 14 points in that episode.
Oh,
in that
okay,
round.
that's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to play this game. We'll each go around and give the clues.
Okay.
And for every point, you get $1 for your charity. And we can go around twice. If you guys have time, I don't want to keep you if you.
Oh no, we're fine.
Sure.
So we can each go around twice, and then whatever, we'll add that to the $28 we already
Okay.
have for our next calendar.
Nice.
Okay, guys. So who wants to go first? Who wants to give clues first? Because I'm bad at it.
We have to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Jillian, you have a question?
Do we have to come up with the clues ourselves, or they provide you with the clues?
They just tell you, just see what it is. So
Okay.
you come up
Okay.
with the clues yourself. So here you can look at the thing. There's
Okay.
a ton of categories to choose from.
Okay. And does the person I'm talking to get to choose a category, or I just get to choose?
Choose whatever. I say whatever you feel like most comfortable giving clues for.
Okay.
And you can just tell us the
Let's do
category.
celebrities.
Okay.
And I'll guess, Matt, you want to play or you want?
We'll both
We'll
play
both
and then
play,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
that way,
Okay. Let's see if I'm doing it right.
and then it'll count down, and then once we get the thing, just touch the screen and it'll count.
Okay. He grew up in a trailer in Michigan.
Chris Farley.
Eminem.
Yes.
Oh,
She's married to Dak Shepard.
Kristen Bell.
She's always in period pieces. She just had her second baby. She's very willowy. Oh, that's Keira Knightley. This is she was in The Simple Life.
Paris Hilton?
Yes. He has a really crazy son. He was in that thing where the bees are attacking him.
Oh,
Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
I was Macaulay Culkin.
Crazy son.
This guy is
I like
in,
that's the-
I think, Fast and Furious. Okay,
Vin
sorry.
Diesel?
Yeah,
No.
it was Vin. E.T. He's in all.
Spielberg.
Yes. Okay, 7. Sorry, I'm not good at it.
No, it takes. That's why we're going around twice because
Okay.
it takes a minute. Don't worry.
And they go fast.
It goes fast. Like yeah, it's
So how does the timing work?
here. If you want to just like go through,
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn the volume because you're supposed to be able to hear sounds which actually help you. So
Okay.
like we'll pretend we're doing Broadway, which we're not because I don't know Broadway. But essentially what it'll do is it'll count down and you're like the thing you do in the middle and then you see the little. And then
Oh, okay. So you
click
have
it
you
there.
have 7 seconds for, and then it adds up the seconds.
Yeah, and then
each.
it's so like yeah, so you could just do, and then it does that so, and then it'll count up the seconds you have remaining.
Okay, cool.
So that's how.
Gotcha.
But anyway, guys, if you like, this is good for a car ride. Like me and my husband we had to wait in line this last week, and it's like we just ended up playing sevens the whole time. I was like, oh, this game is super fun. I'm terrible at it,
Oh, it sounds
but
like
it's fun. It's a good
fun.
way. It's a good
Keeps you on your toes.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do TV shows.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Is it okay if the sound's on?
Oh yeah, of course, because it'll count down, so it'll help us.
Okay, so it was starring a puppet in the 80s.
Alf.
Yep. Ooh. Okay, so I think this was Kerry Washington was in this show.
Oh, Scandal?
Yes. This show was a comedy with the numbers in the title I can't say. Okay. Two Broke Girls. Okay, this was on CW old drama show where they all knew. Okay.
What was that?
This is an HBO show with vampires.
True Blood.
Yes. This was a Dennis Leary firefighter show.
24?
Rescue Me.
Yep.
24.
This was a late night show hosted by somebody who has a Netflix show now.
David Letterman, Late
Yes.
Night David Letterman.
Yes. So we got 14.
Okay,
That's
good.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
yeah.
Okay. So already $21 so far.
Wow.
And we still have a couple more to go. Let's see. I'm gonna do you guys have a preference for a category?
No, whatever you pick is
Mine is
fine.
Broadway.
Yours is Broadway? Oh boy. I'm not
Oh, no, I can't, no Broadway.
okay, good. I was like, oh no.
Definitely not.
We'll do movies comedy.
Okay.
We'll do movies comedy. Okay. He is Austin Powers.
Mike Myers.
She was in the breakout star of Bridesmaids.
Kristen Wiig? No,
She
Oh,
was-
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. He's on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was the Penguin in Batman Returns.
oh.
Oh, Danny
God.
DeVito.
Yeah. The title of this is Blank, an Underdog Story.
Oh, I don't know.
This is
Underdog?
you got, Charlie Day, Jason Bateman, and then Jesus Christ,
Horrible Bosses?
Um,
They go fast.
she was in Glee. She was the mean teacher in Glee. Son of a
Jane
bitch.
Lynch.
Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly were
Step Brothers.
That one was hard.
8.
Okay.
Ooh, boy.
Okay, well, better than the 7. Okay, how about I do food?
Okay.
Food. All right, I think we can do food.
I'm nervous. Oh, you eat Asian food with these.
Chopsticks.
It goes with pita bread.
Hummus.
It's a very popular food. It comes in slices.
Pizza.
You do it on Christmas. Usually there's pigs involved.
Blankets? Pigs in a blanket?
Wait, isn't ham pig? Okay, anyways,
Oh.
you go eat here.
Restaurant?
Their vegetables are long sticks.
Carrots.
No, they're green.
Beans?
Celery.
No.
People have vegetables a long stick.
You cook on this.
Skillet.
13.
That's what 13 is respectable.
Asparagus in a stove. That long sticks.
Yeah.
Long sticks describe so many vegetables.
Long stick. No.
But some of these are challenging because they're so broad. It's like, how do I even describe
To narrow
the
it
stove?
down in 7 seconds is
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pick animals.
Okay.
All right. All right, so this animal eats you when you're dead.
Vulture.
This animal you have as a kid, and it's usually in a little
Teddy
cage.
bear?
No, it's
Parrot?
a tiny
Cat?
animal.
Bird. Parakeet.
Gerbil, hamster.
Hamster. This animal eats wood.
Beaver.
Yes. This is one of Gillian's favorite animals.
Cat.
It's a type of a broader
Frog?
category. What is a frog?
Cat
Is
code?
an amphibian. Okay, you go here to see animals.
Zoo.
And this animal, oh my god, it's a type of lizard.
Gecko?
No,
Chameleon.
it's an iguana. And this is an annoying bug that drinks your blood.
Mosquito.
All right, 15.
That's
All
good.
right. See, I think we know who the breakout star of this game is.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do celebrities again.
I like those.
Okay. Here we go. She was Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
He judged American Idol, the British mean guy.
Simon Cowell.
Butterfly, she was in Glitter.
Mariah Carey.
Yeah. He was Zoolander.
Ben Stiller?
She was in Parent Trap.
Lindsay Lohan.
He was in Star Wars. He was Kenobi. Boy, that was.
Oh, Alec Guinness.
He was in Beverly Hills Cop.
Eddie Murphy.
18.
There we go.
All right.
Finish strong.
Okay. All right. All right. You guys tell everybody where they can find you online and stuff. I'll add up
Okay.
to see exactly how much you won.
Well, we're on Instagram at All Things Cozy Podcast.
Yes. So, just a little background if you're not familiar with our show. Gillian and I host a podcast called All Things Cozy, and you can find our show on Apple and anywhere you can find podcasts. But essentially, our show is about all things cozy. We talk about cozy movies, cozy TV shows, but we especially love a type of book called a cozy mystery, which is why we love Murder, She Wrote, which is basically the easiest way to describe a cozy mystery is to tell people, like, have you seen an episode of Murder, She Wrote? That's a televised cozy mystery. And I'm sure you've seen these books in bookstores. Usually they're mass market paperbacks, like colorful, it's like they have cats on the cover, and it's like Murder She Meowed, basically, would be like a title of a cozy mystery. And they're really fun.
Is there actually a book
reads.
called Murder She Meowed?
I'm
sure
confident
there
there
is.
is. I'm confident there is.
I want that book.
And so, yes, we interview cozy mystery authors on our show, but we also just talk about any random number of things. We love the holidays too, so right now is the perfect season to jump into our show because by the time this comes out, I think we'll have our Halloween episode will be have aired, and
so a lot of exciting
stuff happening. And as Gillian said, you can find us on Instagram.
Yep, and then on Facebook, we're on there too at All Things Cozy Podcast, and then we have a Facebook group where you can join in and talk about cozy stuff, get some insider scoops.
And we're both on Twitter. My last name is Pivo Varchek, so my Twitter handle is also doubles as a way to help people say my name. So it's at PeeVovarchek. So Pivo Varchek.
Yep.
Jillian, what's your Twitter handle?
I'm Gillian with a G, and then my last name Walter is with no vowels.
So I hate Twitter now, but if you want to follow us,
I just retweet them, don't do anything. But if you have,
if you're also in the hellscape,
kicks.
If you can't escape.
Yeah, we'll be there with you. So.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
you
for
guys
having...
won $103.
Oh my
For
God!
charity.
Ooh, that's so nice.
We should get
Thank you.
three calendars for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you hear that, pause, Chicago?
All right.
Yeah.
Don't cheap out on this.
Yeah. Wow.
You want another one? You want us to do this again in 2020?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right, guys,
that's
thank
so
you.
It's been
generous.
a pleasure.
Oh yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys so much for coming back. And I forget to do this, but I do want to always thank Devin Kokersberger, who did the amazing remixes of the Murder She Wrote theme song that we used at the beginning and end of the episode. So thank you again, Devin. And as always, remember to do all the good you can for all the people you can in all the ways you can for as long as ever you can. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.